Hello, you lovely viewers. My name is Marvin Dahm, and welcome to MMD Gaming. Today we're going to talk about Watchdogs Legion and 6 reasons why it rocks, and 4 reasons why it sucks. So, to start off, one of the reasons it rocks is permadeath. In case the name isn't clear enough, permadeath is when on death, the character is gone forever. No respawns, no do-overs. You might think, why is that a good thing? Suspense. There are actual consequences to recklessness, and stealth is not where you boldly try to execute somebody, and if it goes wrong, you can go guns blazing. You want to be careful. Now, if this is not your thing, I got some good news. Permadeath is completely optional, and if things get too heated in your playthrough, you are allowed to turn it off. You won't be allowed to turn it back on once you do so, but it's kind of an emergency if about your entire team is dying. This button will allow you to continue your playthrough and not have to start all over at the beginning. Because if all members are dead, it's game over. Like, fully over. Back to the start. Another reason why Watch Dogs rocks is the world. The game is set in London a few years into the future, matching the technological advances compared to Watch Dogs 1 and 2. It isn't hyper modern, but a few things are things we might potentially have in a few years' time. Self-driving cars working as taxis, electric buses. It all makes complete sense. However, if you know a bit of England, you should talk about bare knuckle boxing, long history of illegal fight clubs, and they are in Watchdogs Legion as well. In fact, when I saw that fight clubs were a thing, I spent the first 45 minutes beating people up in 35 bits, while a drone is allegedly filming the fight because Watchdogs. Watchdogs Legion will put you in a hypermodern London, and doing so, they just hit the nail right on the head. Watch Dogs rocks because of its smooth melee combat. The fight clubs are in the game, but that alone wouldn't have made me use it for 45 minutes straight if the combat was rubbish. The combat is easy, simple, and overall just satisfying. Dodging, guard breaking, a simple 3-hit combo is all it needs. It's not complex. It wouldn't come near the combat of something like Sleeping Dogs, but it's a nice extra little thing having a smooth combat in the game. Next up is a bit of British slang. As a non-native English speaker, I learned my English academically. When I met multiple British people, you learn various new words and phrases, while you see plenty of people on streams, YouTube, TV, or whatever that are British. It's still not the way some of our fellow humans from the UK actually speak. In Watch Dogs Legion, the accents are done right, and the phrases are real, even if the voice acting itself is a bit bland in cutscenes. Everywhere else, it's quite good. The final reason why Watch Dogs Legion literally rocks: Bliss by Muse. What can I say? I'm a simple man, and well, it's my list. To give some extra info though, Muse is a British band, so that fits. But early songs by Muse were a lot about government oppression, which is what Watch Dogs is about, so that fits. And the best thing is, they could have gone with obvious songs like Resistance or Uprising, two very mainstream popular songs, but they went with Bliss, which has a more underlining message, unlike Uprising and Resistance that are in your face about government oppression, and that subtlety is appreciated. If you are a blog reader and you've read my articles on mmdgaming.com, you'll know two things. One, the perfect game doesn't exist, and two, I hate being negative. Nevertheless, Watch Dogs is indeed not perfect, and there are reasons why it sucks. First off, this one's more personal. Collectibles. Most importantly, text and audio logs. So it's the kind of collectibles you'd want to collect to get the entire story, forcing you to go from point A to point B to point C, D, whatever, continually going on. And it's a shame that in an open world, with your choices, forcing you between the entire story or actual freedom. Now that's oppression. If you are experienced with game audio, like a close quarters shooter such as Siege, Valorant, or Rogue Company, there is something really annoying: audio directional issues. During the tutorial, there was this guy right in front of me shooting at me, and the sound came from the right back. Not even completely from the back, but at an angle, like there. Hope that's getting patched. Maybe even before this video goes out, who knows, but it's definitely an issue. Now, the biggest stalking point is the recruiting, and it's actually in two ways. Reason one is the interactions. They are so generic. It seems like you were dissatisfied with the current affairs of London. Oi, you're with that seg, I could use your help. Tedious and boring, and happening quite often. It's neglectable, but with one thing, they completely wasted the potential they had. There was this one Fight Club fighter I wanted to recruit. He wasn't fond of DedSec, and instead of helping him, I looked at his profile and helped out slash recruited his brother, who was DedSec sympathetic. As I expected, the big Fight Club brother no longer disliked DedSec after I recruited his brother. Cool, I thought. So, my new recruit and I went to the fighter, you know, the other brother, and it was the same style, generic conversation. Oh, you're with that sec, I have something I could use your help with. What? What's the point of those relations if they mean virtually nothing? Just one look at Shadow of War is enough to see what you could have done with this. The other part of recruiting that sucks are the missions itself. You talk to the potential recruit, they explain their issues, and it's up to you to fix it. Help out their friend, find that info, infiltrate that outpost, building, area, whatever. Get that friend out, hack that thing, travel all the way back to the person that for some reason is at least half the map away, rinse repeat. It's very tedious, and the missions are kind of always the same. It's go to that point, get that person out of prison, get to that point, hack that terminal, get to that point, I don't know, bring the puppy from the shelter. It can be anything, really. The thing is, it's always go to point A, do thing B, then go back to the person that gave you the mission, and they're all happy. Awesome. Um, except that it's, like I said, tedious, and the infiltration is constantly the same thing. And that's really a shame. They could have done more with it. They could have done with, I don't know, you have the fight clubs. Make something about the fight clubs. If somebody is sympathetic, he doesn't need like this big grand gesture to join that sec. And if there's somebody who isn't that sec sympathetic, you can have these bigger missions. Obviously, that's how you'd convince them. Like, I'm a good person. I literally helped your sister out of jail because she was there wrongfully. Like, that's the kind of stuff that makes sense if somebody's unsympathetic of that sec. For somebody who isn't sympathetic, you shouldn't have to go all these miles and just go above and beyond, take down dozens of people just to get that little bit of info that they need. If they want to fight against the oppression of London, it shouldn't be too hard to recruit them, really. Anyway, in the end, the gameplay is great, smooth, and well thought out. The characters and their details, not so much. Just core gameplay, the game runs great and is properly balanced, at least in my opinion. But it's lacking character. The devil's in the details, and the game at this point is lacking just that. Regardless, I hope this video did not lack character and details, and if it didn't, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Also, check us out on twitch.com/am_monster_d and mmdgame.com, and don't worry, those links are in the description as well. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.